First things first, friends. Pause the video, I've linked some petitions down below. You need to go sign them right now for the Black Lives Matter movement. That is important. Do that first, then grab a cup of tea and come back. Welcome back to my channel, and please do click subscribe, like at the end if you like it. So today I want to talk about a quarter life crisis. I know that sounds incredibly dramatic. Embrace it, roll with it. And I don't really mean a crisis. Don't know about you. Lockdown has really heightened this for me. I don't know what's going on with my life. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what I'm doing with my career. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I don't know. Now this might not apply to everyone. You might have started watching this and thought, I got my life together, girl. This video might not be for you. Maybe it will be helpful, who knows? If you are one of my huns that is coming out of lockdown in a couple of weeks just thinking like, no idea. I'm about to turn 25 in a couple of weeks. I'm at a point where there's a lot of things that have a question mark next to them. Can you hear that? There is a storm. This is making me need a wee. But anyway, yeah, I'm at one of those points where I look forward, I look past this, and I look maybe in a year or so, and I have no idea where I think I'll be or what I think I'll be doing. You know, you've got some friends that are still in uni or still live at home, living their best life. Also got people who are married with children and houses, and we all sort of fit somewhere in that, you know, where school and uni kind of feels long gone, but also like I still feel like I'm a child. Time is ticking. Like, you know, things that are like household responsible adulting things, like I'm not there. I absolutely wince at spending £3 on like drain on blocker or something, but I'll happily hand over someone like £15 for some avocado on a bit of toast. I put on my Instagram, like, anyone else feel like they're having a quarter life crisis, like no idea what's going on? And literally, I'm not joking, about 200 people replied to me being like, a lot of my friends are creatives or are self-employed. How do I say this right? The drive can get murky at the best of times, and it can be really tiring and really draining for all of its glory as well. I think a lot of anxiety comes from comparison, whether that be with your pals or, you know, online. I think this applies across all industries. You see people who are younger than you, who are succeeding higher than you already, and you think, oh, I haven't achieved certain things that I wanted to achieve already. Does that mean I'm not going to? Just because they're difficult or they're not happening now does not mean they're not gonna happen, no way. But it's important, I think, to be honest and not sugarcoat things and allow yourself to be a bit tired. And this is not just for my creative people, but for anyone. It's okay to do other courses and find other things you like. Before I went to drama school, if you would have told me that I would also be a fitness instructor, I would have been like, why? I didn't realise at that point that half the job of being an actor is not being an actor. Giving yourself permission to let your priorities change. They don't have to completely veer off, but they can kind of change balance and your focus can shift a little bit, and that's okay. And maybe that's just month to month, week to week, day to day, based on what you're experiencing or how you're feeling. It's no crime to do that. It's your life. You can do with it whatever you want. And I think sometimes we stop doing things and we don't take chances and take risks, or we don't relax and retreat when we actually need to because we're worried about what other people will say or think. Actually, like, no one's that bothered about what anyone else does. People live with them in the center. No one really is too bothered about what everyone else is doing. So it's really important that we don't let anyone else's opinion or comparison to other people ever stop you doing what you feel like you want to do. I did an amazing values and goals workshop at work, at the gym that I work at. And it was so interesting for me. The first thing we had to do was figure out what our values are. So we had a list of loads of words, but you can just do this in your head. Get a piece of paper, just write down what you think maybe your top 5 values are. Then we moved on to talking about goals. I think the last time I set goals was probably before drama school, and it was really refreshing to me to realise I actually achieved some of them. Going to drama school, being in shows, moving to London, having a partner who I adore. Great. But I actually have no idea what my goals are now. Like, no idea. And it shook me to the core. We had to imagine what our life would look like in a year or 3 or 5, whatever you'd prefer to do. So think about this, like, who's there? Who are you next to? That was easy. You know, for me, it was the people who are around me now, plus a golden retriever, because duh. Then it was like, where are you? And then it was like, think about your career. And I was like, I couldn't really think about what my goal was. Felt a bit foggy. And then we had to write down 3 practical steps, short term, medium term, and long term, to achieve those goals. And I realized that for some of my goals that were in my head, I don't know what the practical steps are, or there aren't any. So how am I gonna get there then? Made me realize I want to have goals, and I want to have practical goals. I found it really interesting. It made me think, and it made me kind of want to question some things rather than just like allowing things to happen and allowing them to pass me by. So it kind of shook me in a really nice way. So here's me shaking you. Have a think. Have a think. Last year in November, my dad passed away, which obviously was a traumatic event in life. And I think since then it's really made me feel nervous. That I think since then I've felt so morbidly aware of how short life is and how precious it is and how fragile it is. And it's made me a bit anxious that I'm wasting it. And I think having some awareness of not wanting life to just pass you by is actually really helpful. But it also made me put loads of pressure on myself, which just is unhelpful. Feeling a little bit murky and a little bit confused, and you look forward and you see a question mark in whatever area of your life that is. I just want to let you know that firstly, you are not alone. There are most people in their mid-20s feel like this. I actually did some research, and quarter-life crisis is like a legit thing that people in their mid-20s, most people are like. And it can come from parents and friends, but generally the pressure we put on ourselves comes from us and our own expectations of ourselves and our own comparisons of people. So if you've listened to that goals bit and like me, you've gone like, that's helpful as well. That's helpful to know, because it gives you even more reason and more permission to question. And like, what an amazing time of life to figure it out. There's no rush, you know? Life is short. We do get pressured and fearful and anxious that we're wasting it, but I would argue that maybe putting that pressure on, living out of stress and fear and anxiousness, is wasting it more. It's so okay to retreat a little bit and pause and reflect and be grateful for what you have and find some peace within yourself in all that you are right now. Your job on this planet is to be human. Be honest and grounded and open and kind and share your light to people and let them share it to you. That is the best place to grow from, I find. You're gonna make the healthiest, most gorgeous decisions from that place, not from the place of fear and stress. We all want to succeed in something or other. What does success look like to you when you look at yourself? So not what's successful when you look at someone else. What is success when you look at you? That's an important question to ask yourself, I think. What do I actually genuinely give a shit about? What you think is important to you right now, today, and what you think might be important to you in a few years still. That can change. Values, goals can change. I think they're supposed to, because we don't stay the same, we grow, and so do those things too. Okay to want to settle, it's okay to try and get yourself out of your comfort zone, it's okay to be driven and unstoppable, and it's also okay to retreat. You don't have to go for what's easy, and you can change your mind. Small steps, smart risks. Those risks can be big, but small steps, smart risks. What is the worst thing that can happen? Think about that in this situation. What's the worst thing that can happen? If you can survive it, do it. And it's worth remembering, like, you don't have to solve all of your problems or all of the things that you're not sure about all at once. You know, we can do jobs that dictate our days, but we're all living with tomorrow unknown and unpromised. I don't think I would want to know what I'm going to be doing every single day for the rest of my life. Either look at the fact that you're not sure what your life's going to look like in a year or 3 or 5 as scary and flaky and or you can keep an open mind and you can look at that as the most exciting thing ever. You're not gonna go backwards. Every single day you grow as a person and you experience more. You can't go backwards. Open your mind to the possibilities of life. You can slowly but surely figure it out. You got this. It's okay and completely normal to be in your mid-20s and not have a clue what is going on. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe. I will see you here next week.